From feeling at home in the character of John Constantine to having doubts whether he'll ever get to play the role again, Keanu Reeves' Constantine 2 is a movie that we all want to see. But the actor had some disappointing updates for us. After almost 2 decades, 2005's cult classic Constantine was finally announced to the public last year. But star Keanu Reeves isn't convinced that we'll actually get to see the movie get released. The news of Constantine 2 in September 2022 shocked DC fans, especially considering it had been nearly 20 years since Reeves' first excursion as DC's supernatural detective. And we also had some insights into the story, as hinted at by writer Akiva Goldsman. In the sequel, Reeves' character will be laboring to maintain the barrier between Earth and the evil creatures that are attempting to take over. Sounds like Constantine coming back. The sequel to this cult classic was seemingly confirmed, and it was also going to be a reunion between director Francis Lawrence and actor Keanu Reeves. But with so many alterations being made to the DC universe recently, it might be a problem for this film, and the future of Constantine 2 under DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran is in doubt, as the two have scrapped a lot of previous projects to make room for newer ones, putting the sequel in a position where it's once again being questioned and speculated about. And the worst part of all this is the fact that even though Reeves is optimistic, he still has doubts. The John Wick star gave a disappointing report on his much-anticipated Constantine sequel. This raised a big question that all DC fans are asking. What has become of Constantine 2? At one of the press events for John Wick Chapter 4, Cinema Blend got the chance to speak with Keanu Reeves about the sequel, and the actor gave his honest thoughts about how Constantine 2 was coming along. The topic of a sequel came up, and when asked about it, Reeves responded only that they are trying to make the movie, adding that he doesn't know if it's going to happen. And when asked if he might go blonde to play the character this time around, Reeves stated that he played a different version of the character than in the comic. He also added that he may not get to repeat the role at all because of his previous portrayal of Constantine. Keanu joked that he doesn't know if he'll look good as a blonde, and went on to say that he hopes he gets the chance to do it, but there's no guarantee. The dramatic ending of John Wick Chapter 4 has recently been discussed by the actor, which shows the famed assassin John Wick seemingly dying. And according to Reeves, the whole point of making the film was for the character to find some sort of inner calm or liberation. It's not as simple as saying, let's do another one. But now that Reeves has wrapped up John Wick, he's got enough time to film Constantine. That is, if the studio wants to make it, since Keanu really wants to play the character. In an interview with Esquire, Keanu Reeves discussed his impressive career. Naturally, the topic of Constantine 2 was brought up, and the actor didn't waste a second in saying yes when asked if he wanted to return to that world and fight demons again. But he didn't say when or how it might happen. Reeves said that he feels at home in the role of John Constantine. He went on to say that he's played numerous roles as John. Just how many Johns has he played? Not even Reeves has any idea. He said it's more than 10, he believes. But in any case, the John Wick star said he'd be thrilled to reprise his role as John Constantine. Reeves has expressed his desire to reprise the role multiple times over the past few years. Now all that's left is for Warner Bros. To take the initiative. I can assure you the movie will blow up among the DC fans and Keanu fans. And Keanu's fans are increasing rapidly, so it might be a good decision financially as well. So WB, get the team ready and get this production going. Speaking of the team, director Lawrence has also showed interest in the sequel. In 2020, at SDCC's digital convention, a panel was held to celebrate Constantine's 15th anniversary. Reeves, Lawrence, and Goldsman all came together to talk about the film's effect and legacy. And based on what Lawrence said, it sounds like the panel, interviews, and an appearance on Stephen Colbert's late-night show finally tipped the scales in the fans' favor. Lawrence said that when Reeves was asked what role he'd love to play again, he said John Constantine, and the crowd went crazy. So it's safe to say that the fans are all in for the sequel. The director also revealed why it took 17 years to make the sequel. They had to work around plans that had already been made for the character and the different things that were connected to him. So why wait so long? According to Lawrence, they've been talking about it ever since they made Constantine 1, which they all loved. So, the team has been talking about it over and over and over again for years. But there were a lot of things that made the sequel hard to create. All of the DC brands, including Vertigo, are hard to control because of Warner Bros. Deal with DC and J.J. Abrams' deal. Lawrence said that it wasn't Akiva, Keanu, and him being persuaded to make the sequel. Rather, it was really about figuring out how to take control of the Constantine character again. But the big question remains, will the fans and Reeves actually get Constantine 2? When Constantine 2 was first announced, it was a big surprise. But when Gunn and Safran took over, everything seemed to change. Some stories even say that Warner Bros. Executives canceled the sequel. But Reeves still seemed a little hopeful about the movie's chances. He said that he had talked with James Gunn about the possibility of making Constantine 2 after Gunn took over his job. And even though legacy films like Top Gun: Maverick and the latest Scream movie have done well in recent years, it's still hard to say if Reeves will get to play this fan-favorite character again. But Reeves may still have a chance to bring Constantine back, especially with movies like The Joker, Folie 2, and The Batman Part 2 from DC's Elseworlds line. Since the end of Constantine doesn't directly set up a sequel or cinematic world, Constantine 2 could be rolled into the DCU's first chapter, Gods and Monsters, and the first film could be retconned as a sort of early DCU prequel. On the other hand, it could also be made under the DC Elseworlds label. The second option seems more likely for Constantine 2, but Reeves' Constantine could also show up in other places as well. In any case, Constantine 2 will be a blast to watch. Although there's no official plot revealed for the film, we can still speculate based on the data we have. Tilda Swinton's Gabriel is still alive despite her wishes to be killed, which is a story detail that could have been established more explicitly in the previous film. Chaz, played by Shia LaBeouf, is another character whose backstory may be developed further, but given his current controversy, this may not be possible. One adversary who fits the bill is Constantine's sworn enemy Nurgle, a powerful demon with a personal grudge against the anti-hero. The king of vampires diving headfirst into the supernatural could be an interesting new course to take as well. These could be a fun and exciting way to bring Constantine back to the screens. The world of superhero films is very different from what it was in 2005, so it's fair to wonder if bigger DC Comics elements might factor in. But who knows? With that said, that was all the updates on Constantine 2 till now.